Houston, we have go for main engine start. Begin final countdown. Roger that. Beginning countdown. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff.
Ditching Suburbia is on a mission to help families leave traditional suburban lives in search of simpler living, closer family, richer education, and uncommon adventures. Find us on the web at ditchingsuburbia.com.
Hey folks, it's Michael Boink from Ditching Suburbia. On this episode of the Ditching Suburbia podcast, I'll be reading an essay entitled, History Isn't Always Interesting. You're all hitched up and rolling down the road. Kids in the back seat chattering away, coffee in the console, full tank of gas, oil checked, tires topped off, snacks in the cooler, GPS dialed into your next destination. An hour into your drive, a large brown sign looms on the horizon. Ah, the brown sign. Brown signs point the way to beauty, to vacation destinations, and to awesome learning opportunities and more. For just a moment, you're the old man in the movie A Christmas Story, gazing at his freshly delivered crate. My God, there could be anything in there. Getting closer, you can read the sign. Well, hold on. It really doesn't matter what it is. The important thing is that it's some place, something, some historical spot that you've seen other traveling families enjoy, take photos of, and write lengthy blog posts about. As homeschoolers, you feel compelled to also follow the brown sign and incorporate whatever it is into your schooling and your travels. But it just doesn't interest you. The secret about history. Maybe you've tried similar stops and just weren't engaged. Maybe you just came from a historic building looking at old stuff in glass cases and reading little printed cards. Maybe your kids didn't want to hear about yet another place where people suffered and died. It's okay. Here's the secret that we've both learned and continue to learn. Not all history is interesting. Civil War. Walking through the graves at Gettysburg, we felt the weight of the sacrifice of the men who died. Standing where Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address was moving. But we got our fill of the Civil War. We don't need to know every last strategy employed, nor do we need to see every last battle location. And that's okay. Architecture. We spent years chasing paint, choosing shingle colors, designing cement work, landscaping, room colors, lighting fixtures. It all seemed so important at the time. After exploring the country for 5 years, it seemed so silly. We had one house out of millions. 5 minutes after driving past it, you would have forgotten it. So we aren't really interested in other houses, no matter how old, who built them, or on what list or register they're on. And that's okay. Indian mounds. In our travels down the Mississippi River, we have passed numerous Indian mounds. We stopped at Effigy Mounds National Monument. We read, we studied. We know so little about these mounds, and without a way to view them from a high perspective, they're just kind of bumps in the grass. We couldn't even get a good photo of one. One mound visit was all we needed, and that's okay. Don't trade formulas. The biggest thing we dislike about suburbia is how look-alike houses create look-alike lives. Don't ditch the suburban formula only to live another one. Just because other traveling families enjoy things like Civil War history or whatever, doesn't mean you have to. It's okay. Not all history is interesting. Some history is interesting. You might think that we're road-weary, cynical, long-term travelers for whom everything has become mundane. Not so. We enjoy music-related history. We follow Johnny Cash from his boyhood home to the studio he first recorded at, watched a movie about his life, and bought his autobiography. We enjoy Mississippi River-related boating history. Barges moved by poles to steamboats to the current-day tug and barge traffic. We found what history interests us and then actively look to make connections place to place, and that's definitely okay. And of course, travel isn't only about history. We love to see and experience aspects of our modern-day world as well. Fess up. What history have you felt compelled to be interested in but just weren't?
You've been listening to the Ditching Suburbia podcast. Ditching Suburbia helps common families create uncommon lives. Learn more at ditchingsuburbia.com.